Jack opened his eyes and began working, one question at a time. When distracting thoughts tried to enter his mind, thoughts about other students finishing faster, thoughts about whether he was good enough, he gently pushed them away and returned to the task before him. 3 hours felt like minutes. When time was called, Jack set down his pen, feeling calm. Not confident he'd win, but confident he'd given his absolute best. That alone was a victory. 2 weeks later, the results were announced. Jack's father received a call from the competition organizers. When he hung up the phone, tears filled his eyes. Jack had won. Not just placed well, but won first place in the entire nation. When the news spread through the village, people couldn't believe it. The boy who couldn't focus, who seemed destined for mediocrity, had beaten thousands of brilliant students. At the awards ceremony, when Jack stood on stage holding his trophy, they asked him to say a few words. He thought about what to say. He thought about his journey. Then, he spoke from his heart. "A year ago, I was lost. I had intelligence but no direction. I had dreams but no discipline to achieve them. I learned something that changed everything. Success isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most focused. It's about training your mind to serve you rather than distract you. Every single person here has a wild horse in their mind, full of power and potential. The question isn't whether you have what it takes. The question is, will you take control of the reins? Will you discipline your thoughts? Because I promise you, when you train your mind, when you master your focus, there is absolutely nothing you cannot achieve." The audience erupted in applause. David sat in the crowd, smiling with quiet pride. Jack had learned the lesson that most people spend their entire lives never learning. Your mind is either your greatest tool or your worst enemy. The choice is yours. So let me ask you something right now. How many times today did you let your mind wander when you needed to focus? How many goals are you not reaching because distractions keep spilling your water? Here's the truth. You don't need to be more intelligent. You don't need more opportunities. You need to train your thoughts. You need to discipline your mind. Start tomorrow morning. Wake up at the same time. Remove the distractions. When your mind wanders, bring it back. 5 minutes of meditation, one task at a time. That's how you start. Jack's success didn't happen because he was special. It happened because he decided to be disciplined. You have that same power within you right now. The question is, will you use it? Your next chapter of success, your transformation, your breakthrough, it all begins the moment you decide to train your thoughts and master your mind. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until tomorrow. Start right now, today, this moment. Because every second you wait, more water spills from your glass. Take control, train your thoughts, and watch your entire life transform. David nodded slowly, a knowing smile on his face. Jack, let me explain something that will change your life if you truly understand it. This glass represents your goals, your dreams, everything you want to achieve in life. The water inside represents your focus, your energy, your attention. The beautiful and interesting things in the garden, those are the distractions that surround us every single day. Social media, entertainment, gossip, things that feel good in the moment but take us away from what truly matters. He paused, letting his words sink in before continuing. Most people go through life just like you walk through this garden. They start with a full glass, full of potential and possibility. But they let every little distraction steal their focus. A notification here, a video there, a thought about what someone else is doing. Before they know it, they reach their destination and their glass is empty. They have nothing left to show for their journey. The world didn't empty their glass. They did it themselves by failing to discipline their mind to stay focused on what matters. For the first time, Jack truly understood. This wasn't just advice, this was truth. He could feel it in his bones. He thought about all the times he'd started his day with plans and ended it having accomplished nothing. All the times he'd promised himself he'd focus, only to find hours had vanished into meaningless distractions. All the potential he was wasting. "What do I do?" Jack asked, his voice sincere. "How do I change?" David placed a hand on Jack's shoulder. "You train your mind the same way you train your body. You start small. You start with discipline in little things, and gradually you build strength. Wake up at the same time every day. When you sit down to study, remove every distraction. No phone nearby, no games, nothing that can steal your attention. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back. Don't punish yourself, just bring it back, again and again. Practice meditation for just 5 minutes each morning. Sit quietly and focus on your breath. This is exercise for your mind." From that day forward, Jack's life began to transform. It wasn't easy. The first morning, when his alarm went off at 6 a.m., every part of him wanted to hit snooze and sleep another hour. But he remembered the glass of water. He remembered his empty glass and David's words. He got up. When he sat down to study and the urge to check his phone overwhelmed him, he felt physical discomfort. His hand reached for it automatically, but he stopped himself. He thought about the water spilling, about his potential draining away. He pulled his hand back. Day by day, choice by choice, Jack was building something powerful. He was building discipline. In the beginning, he could only focus for 10 minutes before his mind wandered, but he kept practicing. 10 minutes became 15. 15 became 30. His morning meditation, which felt impossible at first, became something he looked forward to. A peaceful moment where he trained his mind to be still, to be under his control. Weeks turned into months. Jack began to notice changes. His memory improved dramatically. Things he read once, he remembered. His grades climbed from average to excellent. His teachers noticed a difference. His confidence grew. But more importantly, Jack noticed something profound. When he trained his mind to focus on his studies, that discipline spread to other areas of his life. He became more patient with his family. He listened better in conversations. He completed tasks he started. He felt in control of his life for the first time ever. 1 year after Jack met David, news spread through the village about a prestigious national competition. Students from across the country would compete to solve complex problems under pressure. The winner would receive a scholarship to the best university in the nation. Jack's teachers encouraged him to enter. A year ago, he would have been too afraid, too aware of his inability to focus under pressure. But now, something had changed. Jack registered for the competition. The day of the competition arrived. The examination hall was filled with the brightest students from everywhere. The atmosphere was tense. When the papers were distributed, Jack looked at the questions. They were incredibly difficult. He could hear students around him gasping, whispering nervously, flipping pages frantically. Some were already panicking, but Jack closed his eyes for a moment. He took a deep breath. He remembered walking through David's garden with that glass of water. He remembered the lesson. Focus on this moment, this question. Nothing else exists right now. Once in a quiet village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a young boy named Jack. He wasn't ordinary by any means. Jack was sharp, intelligent, and full of potential. Teachers often remarked that he had a brilliant mind, one that could achieve anything he set his sights on. But despite all this promise, Jack carried a burden that held him back from greatness. His mind was scattered, restless, constantly jumping from one thought to another, like a bird that could never find a place to land. Every morning, Jack would wake up with good intentions. He'd tell himself, "Today will be different." Today, I'll focus. Today, I'll finish what I start. But within minutes, his mind would betray him. If he opened a book to study, his thoughts would drift to the video games waiting in the next room. If he sat down to complete his homework, he'd suddenly remember a funny video he wanted to watch, or a message he needed to send to his friends. His days became a cycle of starting tasks and never finishing them, of good intentions that dissolved into distractions. Jack's father watched this pattern with growing concern. He was a wise man who had worked hard all his life, who understood that success wasn't about intelligence alone. It was about discipline, focus, and the ability to train your mind to serve you rather than control you. One evening, as Jack sat staring at his books, but thinking about everything except his studies, his father pulled up a chair beside him. "Son," he said gently, "do you know what your biggest problem is? It's not that you lack intelligence. It's not that you're incapable. Your problem is that your mind is like a wild horse, running in every direction at once. A wild horse is powerful, full of energy and strength, but without direction, that power means nothing. If you don't take control of the reins, if you don't discipline your mind, it will take you nowhere. But if you learn to master it, if you train it to focus and obey your commands, there's no limit to where it can take you." Jack nodded, but the words didn't truly sink in. He'd heard advice like this before. He thought he understood, but understanding and doing are two very different things. Days turned into weeks, and nothing changed. His grades began to slip. His teachers grew frustrated. His friends started achieving things while Jack remained stuck in the same place, watching opportunities pass him by like trains he was too slow to catch. Then one day, everything changed. Jack's father had heard about a teacher who lived on the edge of their village. His name was David, and he was known throughout the region as a man who could transform ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. People said he had a special gift for teaching young minds to unlock their true potential. Jack's father decided it was time to seek David's help. When they arrived at David's home, Jack expected lectures, rules, maybe even punishment. Instead, David greeted them with a warm smile and kind eyes that seemed to see right through to Jack's soul. After hearing about Jack's struggles, David didn't scold him. He didn't give him a long speech. Instead, he walked to his kitchen and returned with a simple glass filled to the brim with water. "Jack," David said, handing him the glass, "I want you to take this glass and walk around my garden. It's a beautiful garden with many things to see. But there's one rule. You must not spill a single drop of water. Not one. Can you do that?" Jack looked at the glass. It seemed easy enough. How hard could it be to carry a glass of water without spilling it? He accepted the challenge with confidence. As he stepped into David's garden, Jack's eyes widened. It was indeed beautiful. Colorful flowers bloomed along winding paths. Butterflies danced in the air. Birds sang from the branches of ancient trees. In one corner, children were playing and laughing. In another, wind chimes created a peaceful melody. Jack began walking, but almost immediately, a brilliant blue butterfly caught his attention. He turned his head to follow its flight, and water sloshed over the rim of the glass. He quickly steadied himself and continued. Then he heard the children laughing, and curiosity pulled his gaze toward them. More water spilled. A strange bird called from a tree, and Jack looked up. More water lost. By the time he completed his walk around the garden and returned to David, the glass was only half full. David looked at the glass, then at Jack. "Tell me, what happened? Why did you spill so much water?" Jack felt embarrassed. "I got distracted. There were so many interesting things in your garden. The butterflies, the birds, the children playing. Every time I looked at something, I lost focus on the glass.